Boom! What's happening, y'all? Brady and Justin here. Another edition of EquinEdge Happy Hour. I'm in a great mood. It must be 75 degrees today here in Seattle. How you doing, Brady?
Hey, Justin. I'm doing well. Been traveling all over the place. It's kind of nice to be home for a day. And we're both getting back on the road tonight and tomorrow. So if I was any better, I think it'd be illegal. So yeah, happy as can be. Spent a weekend at Keeneland. We were there for 3 racing days, the contest, and had a lot of fun. Met a lot of people in the horse racing industry again last weekend, and man, it just feels like it keeps on getting better every weekend. So yeah, doing great, man. Excited for you to get to Keeneland this weekend.
I know. And Mike, I might have. I am in the best mood, bro. I mean, I think it's the weather though. Like I have taken my first sip of wine. So yeah, cheers, everyone. But it must be the weather here. Like hey, Gary, Michael, John, Patrick, it's never this nice in Seattle in April. I mean, it's supposed to be 80 degrees this weekend. But as you said, you just left Keeneland. I'm just going. I have a flight tonight. My flight, I'm taking a red eye through O'Hare down to Lexington. So I leave here. I think my flight's at like midnight or something. Go through O'Hare, quick layover, then flight little puddle jumper there into Lexington for tomorrow morning, hitting up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday racing. I'm pumped, dude.
Yes.
Like never been. I can't wait. It's the great card on Saturday. We'll talk about Keeneland today. We'll talk about Saturday. We'll talk about Oaklawn on Saturday, and see if we can squeeze anything else in. Where are you headed? Where are you going?
I'm actually headed way west to Hawaii. So I'll be in Maui for a week, and I've heard that ADWs don't work in Maui. And so I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines, living vicariously through you this weekend, and, cheering on your plays, and you'll have to keep me posted on what you're doing. But hopefully we can handicap these cards for the viewers, and I can watch the races, and then we'll do a show from Hawaii next week. I'm sure I'll have a little bit better background than I do here in my home office, but we'll make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, heading to Hawaii for a week, and then I think we got something pretty cool planned here in a couple of weeks where you and I are going to get together, and we've got more details about that to share soon enough. So we got great things coming at EquinEdge. I mean, Scotty's team is working on some amazing things right now, from tools to experiences, and so we're really looking forward to a lot more stuff to give you guys here in the near future.
I'm with you. And, how about last weekend? You were there. Were you in the tourney?
I was. And so you handicapped these last couple races perfectly. And I went all in on the Chad Brown horse, the 2 in the second to last race where Juliet Foxtrot wires the field. And Justin texted me before the last race went off. And he goes, how does Juliet Foxtrot not just go gate to wire in this leg? I'm singled in the pick 4. And, when you're in a tournament like that, you kind of get like a little irritated. You're like, oh, no, she has no chance. No, only because I was playing against. And what happened? Juliet went out and walked the dog on the front end. And Justin cashed a pick 4. What did you hit it 4 times for $5,000?
Yeah. It was a $7.50 pick 4. Played it 4 times for $30, and it paid just under $5,000, which was crazy.
That's insane. That's handicapping right there. Because a lot of guys call themselves handicappers and, use the all button too much and are spending, way too much on tickets. You spent $7.50, and for every 50 cents, what did it cash? About $12.50?
Yeah.
I mean, that's handicapping to me. Only using horses and legs that you need, spread where you need to, and really single and hammer out those strong opinions. And so you got Foxtrot home, which was phenomenal. And then Stage Raider in the last, which was Justify's little brother, who we talked about in the show last week, just absolutely blitzed this field. I mean, sat third the whole way around, and I'm like, okay, when's he going to go? Opened up and won by like 15 lengths. I mean, I think I took 5 or 6 breaths in between when he finished and the next second place horse. So that was a great call as well for us on the show as a single.
Yeah, you called that out, and that helped me because I love Juliet in the leg before. You had Stage Raider, so I was single, and if we go back here and look at this, and we'll jump into Saturday. Race 8 was the Giants Causeway, and the Scotty Longshot won, and this was the horse that we talked through this race, and the one on the rail, and we can talk about this tonight when we go over Keeneland on Saturday. The rail is very hard in turf at Keeneland, and in turf sprints it's rough, and when you have a favorite like that on the rail, I am all day against it. And we talked through this, and I said, look to the outside. I like the 6, 8, 10 in this race. I think I also like the 3, but the 8 won that race. Scotty Longshot paid $20. And then race 9, we talked a little bit about this, and we didn't spend a lot of time here, but I covered deep here in the Stone Street, Lexington. A good friend of mine, Mike, he really didn't like Proxy. So he talked me a little bit off of Proxy, which was good, because then I'm like, and I didn't love Swiftsure the 2. I didn't think she would get the distance. So I was spreading here, and people are like, how'd you get King Fury? And I was like, well, the horse was 12%. And you told me this. The top GSR and had 2 wins in 5 tries. And I look at this and I'm like, man, this thing came together. And then I love Juliet, and she ran a great race. And then you had Stage Raider for us. And Gary, it's interesting. I didn't play the pick 5 here, and I probably would have, because I think I like 3 horses, and the 5 ended up winning. I don't want to click all around, but I barely got the pick 4 in. I was busy with the kids in Eastern Washington, and didn't get a chance to really play much last weekend, and got this in very quickly and stuff. So it's awesome. You got to love those hits. And Gary, I will try to tweet this out and share this weekend, although I'm going to be at Keeneland. So I actually will probably use Instagram for all viewers. So if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, I'll post that, but I'm probably going to use Instagram this weekend just so people know. I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. But what else before we jump in? Superstock wins.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. And just when we thought we were about to see a dominant performance from a Derby hopeful and Concert Tour, he get cooked on the front end. I mean, how fast did those horses go? They absolutely flew up front. And Caddo River still had something in the tank. And he repassed Concert Tour at the end there for second. But that Superstock horse, my goodness, Scotty Longshot, go figure, And so we always talk about, how do you get paid in pick 5s and pick 4s, monster tickets? It's beating very heavy favorites. And Concert Tour went off at 1-5. And yes, the resume spoke. He deserved to be 1-5. But is this really a 2-turn Derby horse like we thought he was before? He did not put on the same show that he did last time against Caddo River and company. And so I'm very concerned for the Baffert barn for this Kentucky Derby, because you started out with Life is Good, who was an absolute monster, ran 3 triple-digit buyers, and now he's hurt. Then you had Concert Tour that was dominating performance after dominating performance, and now he has a 3rd-place finish. And I'll tell you what, Baffert rarely is competitive in the Derby off of a loss. Okay, usually he's sending in an undefeated horse, or sending in a horse that is showing some top form every single time that they bring it. And then he's got Medina Spirit, who at first I thought, man, is this actually the 2nd or 3rd best horse in the country because of who he's losing to? But now my opinion on that horse is he just likes to finish 2nd. So if I'm the Baffert barn, I don't know. I mean, that's going to be really tough for them to figure out how they're going to navigate this Derby now that we have so much more speed in the race. And so, what we should do next week, Justin, is next week's show will be a week away from the Derby show. We should do a segment on the Kentucky Derby probables next Thursday. And so that way we can do a profile on every horse and give our thoughts on that. I do have a pick right now. If you were going to pick a horse to win the Derby right now, Justin, who would it be?
Well, I'm so biased though. So I'm biased because many of you know, so I have a $10 future on Midnight Bourbon at 53 to 1. I have a $20 future on Superstock at 103 to 1. I think Midnight Bourbon has a shot. I like, I like Mike Smith getting aboard there, gets them out. And I'm guessing Ricardo Santana is going to ride super stock. So, and I would just love to see that. And then I have an exacta for $5 at, it's like 3,000 to 1 or something. So,
those are what you have. Those are smart bets, because just making the Derby gate is the hardest thing, and in all these futures, if you can get a decent price, I'd say never bet a future unless you got double-digit odds. And, these single-digit ones, I mean, I know someone who bet very heavily on Concert Tour, and now the horse may or may not make the gate. So we hope he does. We hope it's a great Derby. This could be one of those Derbies where, you could justify like taking 8 to 10 horses. I think I'm going to single in the Derby because I think that there's some value, and I think that the pace setup is going to be perfect for this one horse, which I don't know. Should I name it now or should I wait till next week?
No, I mean, it's up to you. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you.
Obviously, the Kentucky Derby it's a race where post position matters more than any other race. I think it's what nobody's ever won from the 17 hole, which is where Tiz the Law broke from last year, and maybe he was cursed by that. And then nobody wants to draw the inside one post. And now they've got that new gate where before they had that auxiliary gate where you had, I think, anybody outside the 15 hole, 16 through 20 was angled in a little bit, and that's where Roadster took out Game Winner 2 years ago. And so right now, I love Known Agenda, the Todd Pletcher horse. Now Todd has 3 runners in the Derby. Irad Ortiz is going to ride Known Agenda, and he doesn't have a Derby yet. But let's look at how this pace is going to unfold. I mean, it's going to be really hot up front. And if you look at how Known Agenda ran his race last time in the Florida Derby, if he improves at all off of that, he's going to be tough to beat. And so I'll save the rest for next Thursday. We can dive into these races. I think we're covering Oaklawn and Keeneland tonight, and then maybe a little bit of Tampa Bay.
If we can get it in. I know we just talked a lot, but
there's a lot going on in the horse racing world, so it's a good time, and this is a really fun time, as we're just a couple weeks away. I think when we started doing the show, it was February, and we were doing it like Fountain of Youth Fountain of Youth weekend. And so we've come a long way since then, and a lot more things have materialized, and we kind of know what we're going to get heading into the first Saturday in May.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's jump in. Let's start at Oaklawn, then we'll kick it over to Keeneland. And if we have time, I know some viewers, there's a carryover pick 5 at Tampa tomorrow, so we'll try to squeeze that in at the end. I got through about 3 races. It actually looks like an amazing sequence. I'm probably going to play it, but let's start race 8, maiden special at Oaklawn, 3-year-olds. What do you think here? You narrow? Can we narrow? The ticket generator put in the $80, wants us to go too deep with the 3 and 6. What do you think?
Yeah, I saw the ticket generator went too deep here, and as soon as I saw that, I said, okay, why is it going too deep? And so if we've got it pulled up here, the ticket generator wants to use the 3 and the 6. And so obviously the first thing I'm going to do is go look at the 3 and the 6 and make sure that I'm going to solidify that I want them on my ticket. And then after I do that, if I don't toss any of them, I look elsewhere. Okay, we've got the 3 Stiletto Boy. The thing I like about this horse is he's got a 3-2 morning line, or EE morning line. Okay, and he's got a decent GSR of 64. And my computer's malfunctioning just a little bit on the system here. It's catching up now. But this horse has had 4 tries. He likes the lead, and he had a really good workout on March 20th at Oaklawn Park. And so I think this is the top Scotty choice. I think this horse is ready to fire. And so I'm going to definitely use the 3 on my ticket. The thing about the 6 that stood out is he has excuses, okay? And I think that that's why he's probably a 40% win percent, because a horse usually peaks his 3rd start. And he's had 2 starts in the 93,000 maiden special weight level of competition, a 4th and a 4th. But if you look at his trip trouble, off slow, swung widest. 2nd flight, missed 3rd. This horse has had some trip trouble. And so I'm willing to excuse him, those first 2 races as he's still learning. Outside of that, I didn't see another horse that really interested me that much. I was looking at the GSRs, and the top GSR horse is the 8, My Favorite Uncle, which is also a 20-1 morning line. And you know what? He actually fits here. He's a Wayne Lucas horse who finished 6th at the same level as the 6 did. Okay. And so if we're going to use the 6, we have to at least look at this 20-1 shot in the 8. and say, hey, he actually ran better and has a great GSR. So this is what this horse is supposed to be and bred to do, is go 8.5 furlongs. And so, the 3 and the 6 are a couple of must uses for me. I didn't like the Scotty Long Shot, the 1 in this role here. It really just didn't do any running. I hate it when the trip trouble says 1 paced. Think of when you see the words 1 paced as a horse going around in a merry-go-round, really not slowing down, really not speeding up. And we want horses that are going to have that little extra firepower in the stretch there. And so I was really confident in going 3-6 here with the option of using the 8, which was kind of my long shot in the race, because if you're going to use the 6, you've got to look at the 8 based on past performances.
Yeah, I was a little surprised with the win percentages. I bet Cryo, this 6 horse. I think I must have bet him in his maiden special, kind of looking at my notes, and I remember this now. I like that we stick with tracks. I mean, it lets me remember things a lot better than us jumping around. I like the 6 and 3 best. I like the 6 best. I saw Christian Torres is coming in here to Oaklawn. He must have left Gulfstream, or I don't know what he's been up to, but I saw that he was there. Big GSR increase here on the 7. You get an 11-point increase. Tough SOR. I don't necessarily mean coming in from Turfway, so gets off the synthetic. Asmussen horse. That's Cox Flow on the 6. What else did I have? The 4, Cohen, Diodoro. Don't really love this horse. I mean, he's done okay. I mean, I think we stick with the 3 and 6 and we let it go. I like the 6 quite a bit, 40%. The 3, these are 2 favorites. And I think we try to catch maybe some prices in a couple other legs. Obviously, we have a duel and a showdown coming up here in a few races in the Apple Blossom. But I'm with you. Let's go 2 deep and we'll move on to race 9. I cut out the 5, 7, 8 here. Looking at kind of my notes and everything, I think I must have thought I didn't love Owendale, but what do you think here?
I love this race. This reminds me a lot of that race last weekend that By My Standards won. That race was absolutely loaded. I mean, you had horses from the past that were running. You had Rushy and By My Standards. I actually singled By My Standards there in a really small ticket, and I turned my phone off when I watched the race because I thought he lost. And so it just shows that these races aren't over until we get to the wire. And so when I'm looking at this Oaklawn race number 9, I see Warrior's Charge, which is a horse that loves Oaklawn Park, and this is the Scotty Long Shot. This horse needs the lead. And so what I'm hoping is that Brad Cox tells the rider on the 4 here, I don't believe it's Flo. Who does he have riding this horse? He has Elvin Gonzalez. Elvin, just go. You have to let this horse roll in the lead because there's no way this horse is winning unless you get the lead and you clear, okay? So I don't want this horse to beat me necessarily, and I think he's going to be a great price as a Scotty Long Shot. I would guess he's going to be above that 6-1 morning line. And so the 4 I was going to use on my ticket. The 3 Fearless is the one that really interests me. Okay. And I kind of handicapped this race blindly without looking at riders first. And I see Irad gets up on this 3 Fearless, and Velasquez was riding this horse last year. Todd shipped this horse to Oaklawn Park last year for an allowance race, ran a great second after one of the worst breaks I've seen in a while. And so we know that this horse has heart. We know that this horse has run, and he's going to sit off of the pace and then try to mow him down in the stretch. So I believe that the 3 horse is actually the one to beat, because Owendale cannot prove to me that he's a true winner at these levels. And so they keep on running Owendale in these grade 1, grade 2 races. And you know what? The guy cashes checks. He ran 3rd in the Clark, 3rd in the Razorback, and then 2nd in this most recent grade 2 at the Fairgrounds. But when's the last time Owendale won? I'm scrolling all the way down on the EquinEdge platform. I can't find a win for him until May of 2020, which was $100,000 ungraded, non-graded stakes. And so this horse is not a graded stakes winner. I'm sorry. He's going to hit the board more times than not. But I'll tell you what, singling this horse on top, he's going to take a lot of money, maybe the post-time favorite. I think it's going to be close between him and Fearless. But based on how these races he's running, he's just not winning. He's facing lesser and lesser competition, and he can't beat it. So I would almost be a little bit against Owendale in this spot because it's still a grade 2. And so I like Fearless. I like Warrior's Charge. I didn't want to leave off the one Silver State. I think that that's the one that could sit a really, really good trip. And this horse wants to go longer. I mean, he's won 4 races in a row. Okay. And that was at 2 sprints. And then they finally routed him twice. And now they're stretching him out again. And I wouldn't worry about his previous 9 furlong races here because this horse is different than he was last year. Okay. He was a 3-year-old last year. This is one of those horses that has taken a step forward in his 4-year-old racing career and is ready to challenge with the top. And I think Steve Asmussen's properly placed this horse. So if there was going to be a long shot that was going to win this race, I think you got to include the 4 and the 1 with the 3 Fearless.
What do you think about the 2 Express Train? I know we got some viewers mentioning the 2. You have JJ comes in to ride for John Sheriffs here, coming from Santa Anita. What do you think? And the other question I'd ask is, do we keep Owendale on the ticket or do we toss him? I know a lot of people know I like to toss vulnerable favorites. I'm
okay with tossing Owendale if you want to add the 2 because the 2's strong. The 2's actually cutting back in distance by a furlong. And you got, like you said, JJ coming after him. He finished second to Charlatan in the Malibu, won the San Pasquale, and then finished second in the Santa Anita Handicap by half a length. And so the 2 is obviously a force to be reckoned with here. If we can toss the 6, I'll gladly add the 2 to this ticket. If you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm all for tossing the 6, and let's do that. I don't have anything to add, man. You killed that. Like I think we have some. My notes are the same. Like I'm with you. All right, let's move on. And maybe we end up having a little bit of firepower to come back to the first leg. So the 10th, an allowance race. Just an amazing purse. 108,000 for a 40K allowance is awesome. I thought that this thing maybe was a little bit open. I didn't love anybody here. What do you think?
Okay. This is actually, believe it or not, my favorite race on the card. And I'll tell you why. Welder, dude. I remember last time I saw this horse run, I was in Las Vegas on the 16th of October. And I told my buddies, I was like, you want a winner? This horse doesn't lose. Okay. And the trainers have absolutely placed this horse perfectly so that he could actually beat up on these fields. And so from a fan perspective, I love Welder, but as a handicapper, you got to look elsewhere as well just to make sure you can solidify this single. Okay, so let's look at Welder's races. The last time he lost was the day after the 4th of July, okay, in an Iowa sprint. Okay, so who knows, a lot about that race. I can forgive it, but if you see a lot of his races, he doesn't always win by a whole lot. And so this horse has a lot of heart. He's really the one that digs in. He's got grit. But now we're at Oaklawn, okay? And the horses he's been racing against have been from Remington Park and elsewhere. Will Rogers Downs even. This is a different ball league. So I look at the horses like Engage out of Asmussen's barn. Okay, that horse has been racing against much tougher and is actually cutting back in distance to 6 furlongs, where I think he's going to really thrive. And outside of Engaged, I tried to look at a few others, but the others really didn't fit. I looked at the 1 Fire Crow. That's a Ron Marquette horse, and he ran in the hot springs. He ran in a nice allowance race, but just kind of gives way in the stretch. And I really don't like to see a sprinter give way. That's kind of a red flag for me that the horse is giving up in the stretch here. And so I was fine going too deep. The last one I kind of like was 7 Nations Army, the 5 horse, which is also trained by Ron Marquette. I think that this horse is going to sit just the perfect trip. And if he's good enough, he can win. I don't know if 7 Nation Army is good enough to run with Welder and Engage, but I thought if there was going to be an outsider coming in, that this was the one. So I really liked the 4, 5, 6 here. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we're on the same page. Other than, I think the 2 has a shot. If we start with the 5, though, I mean, you have Irad jumping on, just missing at 72 and 74 SORs, and I just love the new race SOR. This is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is a 70, and I think, you obviously get Irad, which is going to help, and he's been competitive. I mean, 6-year-old running well, kind of in 3rd race, kind of in the form cycle here after having a short layoff, has run a bunch at Oaklawn, a bunch at 6 furlongs. I thought Engage could be really tough. This actually might be if I was going to single a horse, I would probably single Engage. If it was in this race, if I was going to single, I don't know if I would single Engage, but definitely one of my best bets of the day is Engage. I really like him here, lightly raced. It should get a really good trip from the 6 hole. The thing about the 1 is, Scotty Longshot's hard to toss if I'm going 3 deep at Oaklawn Park. It just really is, because the Scotty Longshot just always does so well. He's got speed. I know he gives up. The 80 SOR was way too tough here, and I don't know who was in that, but if you look, he's won at the 70. I mean, might be in over his head here. I don't know. Is there any other speed in here? I mean, who's the other speed that's going to go with the 1? The ones I'm guessing sending from the rail.
Yeah, the 1 has no other choice. And so when I look at the speed in this race, I look at real speed versus cheap speed. Okay, and that's where I think Engage can overcome. I think the 9's going to go. I think De La Cruz is going to try to send this horse, because if you look at his past performances, that's the only way he's been able to win. So I think the 1 and the 9 are going to go. And then that's about it as far as the speed in the races. So the 6 should be able to dictate and stay a little bit closer than what he has in previous races, just based off of the, let's call it the cheapness of these horses.
Yeah, the 6, I love Engage here. All right, so what do we want to do? We want to, we tossed the 1. We want to go 4, 5, 6. I think I'm so hard, I think, to toss the Scotty Longshot here, but I
used the other Ron Marquette. I used the 5 instead.
Yeah.
That's one maybe we can come back to if we want to. I like the 5 from a rider perspective, from an EE morning line and a win percentage.
Good point. I mean, I think that I'm with you, and I think that I guess the 1 could wire if the 9 doesn't get a good trip. But let's go 4, 5, 6, and then in the next race 11, the Apple Blossom. It's funny. I was before the show, I was ordering the kids pizza, and I was doing some things, and I was on Twitter, and there was another podcast on there, and they were talking the Apple Blossom. So I tuned in for a second. It was just interesting to hear some others' perspective and everything. But this is going to be awesome to see, I feel like, between Swiss Skydiver and Monomy Girl. Who do you like here? Like, do you have one over the other, or do you think it's going to be close?
So I have a theory on this. I like Monomoy Girl to pick up a few more grade 1s. I'm going to like Swiss Skydiver later on in the year. And here's why. Monomoy Girl has been at her best for so long. Okay? She was a slam dunk single for us in the Breeders' Cup. I've loved watching her over the last 3 or 4 years compete. All good things do have to come to an end eventually. Okay? And I'm guessing that this has to be her last year running. And so they obviously have the Breeders' Cup in mind, and maybe 1 or 2 other races, maybe one at Saratoga. And is she going to be fully cranked for this race? Does she need to be? Well, Swiss Skydiver showing up. And props to the 2 trainers here. You got Brad Cox and you got Ken McPeak that are not avoiding each other. I see so many times in horse racing where you have 2 absolute monster stars, and then they avoid each other all year, and then maybe they get to face each other, maybe they don't. This is going to be a great race. We're going to learn a lot from this race, and this is going to be historical because both of these horses could be considered one of the better female runners in history. I mean, Monomoy Girl, you automatically have to put her in that category with like Rachel Alexandra. I'm not afraid to say that. I like both of them in this spot. It's kind of like what we did last week where we used Whitmore and we used CZ Rocket, and you'd hate for one of them to knock you out. If you have a strong opinion in this race, play a pick 3, play a daily double where you only use 1. But I just think that the class of these horses, it's going to be a lot. I have one sleeper in the race, though. Does it have to run through Monomoy Girl and Swiss Skydiver? I don't know. But I was looking at the 3 Latrushka. And let me make a case for this horse real quick. Last time when they ran in that Graze to Aziri, she lost by a neck and ran a heck of a race on the front end. as Joelle tried to win and steal the race from She Dares the Devil. She Dares the Devil is absolutely one of the top female horses in the country right now. And do we put her on the same level as Swiss Skydiver and Monomoy Girl? No, not yet. But she has ran some bang-up races. She's beat Swiss Skydiver. She's beat Gamine. And so Latrushka went absolutely toe-to-toe with these horses. I don't see any other speed in this race. And so what that tells me is that the 3 horse is going to have all she wants on the front end, however she wants it, how slow she wants it. Swiss and Monomoy are going to be sitting the trips behind. What if this 3 horse gets loose on the lead? You got Irad Ortiz Jr. to ride. Crazier things have happened. If I'm trying to really blow up this pick 5, I'm adding the 3. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's I struggled a little bit here. To be honest with you, I think the 6, I just think she's amazing. I think she's one of a kind, and you said it too. I mean, in a situation like this, I probably single the 6 and know that a lot of people are going to do that, and I get my coverage elsewhere to try to make my ticket pay. You know, the alternative, right, is to play the 2 with if you're going to play the 6 and 2 are going to take so much money. I just find it hard to take both of them. I get adding the 3. I mean, it was I had a little bit of the same thought as you. You know, I did not love her in the Aziri, but she ran. I love She Dares the Devil, and She Dares the Devil was coming off the layoff there. And Oldie is saying that he thinks Swiss will go to the lead. I actually think Swiss will show some speed here. And with the 2 Latrushka, she ran great though in that Oaklawn Aziri, a lot better than I thought she would. I watched some of her races at Sam Houston. You get Irad. For me, I'm singling the 6. I just think that she's special. She's probably in my horse racing that I've seen, one of the most special female horses that I've ever seen. Like, it's like you just watch her and it's crazy. I was trying to remember, there was a few years ago, and I'm like drawing a blank, but the female horse that was running in California that was just lights out. Remind me who no, it's after her. So
After her?
It was recently in the last
Abel Tasman?
No. Our viewers, if you can remember, she ran a lot in California, I feel, and ran elsewhere, but I feel like she was maybe Bob had trained her, I feel like. But I'm totally drawing a blank right now. So for me, it's a single, second start off the layoff. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, if we single there, we're going to get coverage elsewhere. I can't remember. Oh, I thought the last race was open, so I think we do.
The last race is so wide open. And the reason being is that this isn't the end goal for all these horses. It's really not. The Breeders' Cup's the goal for these horses. And so Swiss Skydivers won a Preakness. Monomoy Girl has won, is it 3 distaffs now? 2 or 3? And so what's to gain from this race other than the purse, you know? I think Latrushka is going to be all out on the front end. And I'm not saying that, that Latrushka is going to win the race. I'm saying she could potentially steal it if Monomoy and Swiss don't have their day and absolutely blow up this pick 5. Because Monomoy Girl and Welder are going to be the 2 most singled horses in this pick 5 sequence. If you beat one of them, the ticket automatically pays. Okay? And so, I mean, who do I like the most? Monomoy Girl, of course. She's the class of the field. I mean, she's kind of like the filly or the mare that's growing on all of our hearts. And so it's going to be really tough to beat her. It's going to take a top effort. I don't know. As horses get older, certain things happen. And we see it more in mares than we do in colts. When they're done running, and they decide it, and it's done immediately. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Monomoy Girl, but I thought that this was a race more than others that maybe we could take a swing by including a speed horse.
So it's going to be hard to take all 3, I think. You think, can we take 2 if you want to take 2 and get a couple more horses in the last? So are we taking the 3 and the 6 and we're tossing Swiss?
No. I mean, I think you need Swiss, obviously. Yeah, I'm saying under an unforeseen, speed, absolute walk the dog, go 49 and change on the front end and re-break at the top of the stretch. Latrushka could win. I just wanted to make an argument for her because I think she deserves some respect.
She does, and I think Leah, we can talk about the 5 here in a second, but Mr. Guitar, Weibo the class, I think you are right here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you have an 82 SOR that she just missed, and she's been winning in the low 70s. So it's a valid point. I don't know if I've ever seen an 88 race SOR, which is just crazy. I think that's, when you look at Monomy Girl, I mean, she's 2-5 on the EquinEdge morning line.
This could be the Breeders' Cup distaff. That's how good this race is.
Yeah, so let's toss the 3. I think let's just take the 2 and try to get a little bit of coverage in the last. We're going to bump this up to 84 because I think we're going to be able to get another horse. No? 86? No? Well.
Okay.
I was trying to get us. I guess we're going 3D.
I like talking about each individual race within itself. I think that helps us at least have the discussion and analyze it. I would be willing to single Monomoy because I think I need about 5 or 6 horses in the last leg.
The other option is only if I think we could single. I would single the 6 over the 3 in the first. So I think we either single there or we single in the 4th leg. So I'm fine singling Monomy Girl. For me,
okay. Let's do that because I need about 5 or 6 in the last leg because I felt like that one. I felt like it's maybe the most vulnerable favorite in the card is the one pick up the phone in the last leg, and so I think that's perfect. It gives us 6. It gives us 6 horses to use in the last. That's awesome.
And that's why you single, folks. Like a lot of people, we talk about ticket construction. Like I know you maybe don't want to single the 6, but and then you singling Welder. You singling against Welder because you really like somebody. We talked, for me, for viewers, like I might single Engage here for my ticket. And then to your point, maybe I add, a couple or a few more in the 4th leg. Leah, you asked about the 5. So Scotty Longshot, 2% horse. Morning line doesn't like her. She is lightly raced. I have some notes maybe that she could have upset there. And the Aziri ran well, didn't run great. She's really stepping up in class, I think, Leah. My only comment would here is she's lightly raced, but she's facing just beast. I mean, I just don't know if I can see her like really improving so much all of a sudden to be able to compete with these. And if you include the 5, you have to include the 3. So would be my comment there. I mean, it's just, if you're going to start trying to beat both Swiss and Monomy and Latrushka, then you might almost have to go all if you think the race is that wide open, I feel like. But that'll be my
comment. And for the viewers, me and Justin talk throughout the week about different races and different handicapping. And we talk a little bit about the show, but we never give each other's picks about the show beforehand. And so we want to keep the discussion like that because this is if me and Justin are both at Keeneland together, sitting down at a table saying, hey, you want to play the late pick 5 tomorrow? How are we going to do this? And so I think a little bit of back and forth, Justin's like, you know what? We should single here. And I'm trying to make a case for going 3 deep. That's what handicapping is all about with you and your friends or whoever you're playing tickets with. It's making a case for a strong opinion or making a case on how we can try to beat it. And then ticket construction on top of that. So we're kind of bringing all 3 facets into this game. And we specifically don't talk about who we're picking in these races beforehand on purpose so that way we can have these discussions. And I think it's really great. And then we come to something that we agree on and that fits the budget.
Thanks, Ken. Welcome. Ken jumps in and talks about hitting the like button. I love it.
I love it, man. I forget to say that all the time.
So
back and forth is great, And me and Justin, we're 2 different styles of handicappers. and so we're looking at different things. Justin sees things that I don't see, and sometimes I see things that he doesn't see, and that's what makes it so great in like a discussion or having a little argument about it, getting a little fired up. We all like to like have our singles out there, this can't lose horse, and then maybe your buddy knows something you don't know or saw something in a past performance or something on the EquinEdge program. It's like, hey, you might want to open your eyes to this, dude. And that's what keeps us all in check as handicappers.
Well, we should have played a daily double together last week at Keeneland is what should have happened.
Oh, I know. Oh, man. Well,
but you helped me out. Like you helped me. I didn't catch, and I had asked you. I'm like, hey, Nathan, I had asked you, like, hey, well, how'd you find out this is Justify's little brother? And like, I got to pay more attention to that because you told me that. I'm like, I'm all over this. And I looked, and it was interesting. I when I watched that race, watching the pick 4 come to play or getting ready to pay, and he still wasn't massively bet. People were talking about him and everything like
9
that.
to 5. Maybe the best 9 to 5 shot I've seen all year.
You had said on the show that even in the slop, the better. And I'm like, this is perfect, And somebody had mentioned earlier he was green as he came down the stretch, and so a great ride. I can't remember who was riding. Was it Flo? I can't remember. No, not because they were at. It was Irad. Yeah, Irad. So yeah, cool. We're like way over time. Do we need to talk about this, or are we just going to let the ticket generator do it since it wants to cover?
So the ticket generator, like the 1, 4, 7, 9, 10. I liked the 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 11, and so the only one that I had the 2. The ticket generator didn't have the 2 as a long shot. It had the 9. And the 10 and the 11 did not have the 7. Let me make a case for my 7 and my 2. Okay. I got the 7 out of Candy Ride, and the 7 has a lot of absolute treble trips. Okay. And this horse is a 5-1 EE morning line, which automatically puts it in play for me in the second top Scotty pick. And so a lot of times what you'll see is these horses' past performances don't show great finishes, but it shows a lot of potential. And so the 7's got a great GSR, and so he's floated out wide, he's dueled and gave way, he's been bumped at the start, and so I'm going to give this horse a shot if he gets a clean trip, and he's also the second top Scotty pick, and so I think the 7 deserves a spot on the team on this roster. The 2 horse was a little bit weaker, I thought, but I thought still had a chance as well if I was going to use some of the others, and so this horse just kind of keeps on running his race. At this level, is actually dropping in class just a little bit. And I thought that we had to use some prices and some shots in this race because I don't trust pick up the phone to get me home as a single. This horse is probably going to be, 3-2, maybe even close to odds on. It's obviously Ricardo and Asmussen. He's got a high win percentage, the top EE morning line, a top SOR. The horse from a class perspective absolutely screams. But he's got to deal with that inside post. And I don't always like it when Ricardo's riding from the inside post for Asmussen. Ricardo's at his best when he's in the middle of the track and when he's not having trip trouble and he's not having to navigate down low in the pocket. And so if there's a time to beat this horse, I think it's now. If this horse was drawn outside the 3, 4, 5 hole, I would maybe be in favor of pressing him. I wouldn't single the 1 here. And so on my ticket, when I handicapped, I went 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, 11. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. We'll add the 9. Karina, you were asking about the 9. I had the 3 in here too, but we'll just go with the ticket generator as I think this race is wide open. I mean, I guess you could even toss the 1 and add the 3 because the 1's not going to pay anything if the 1 wins. For me, I like to win, but if I'm single to Monomy Girl and I am against Welder, but the 1 wins, this thing is going to be really chalky. So, but I think we spread here. Ticket generator gives us a bunch of coverage, and let's hope that Monomy Girl just wins and runs away. And
I would love to see it, and I think that's going to happen. I absolutely do. And my mind thinks as how can we create value here? And sometimes there's no value to create. because I'll tell you this right now, folks, the Daily Double, Welder, and the Monomoy Girl is probably going to pay $2.20 because it's going to be the two most single horses. And so in order to try to get paid in these legs, you got to take a stand somewhere, and then you also have to try to beat them somewhere. And I think that we're on the right one on this one by maybe trying to beat Welder with a horse like Engage and then really pounding Monomoy Girl. I really like that.
Yeah. All right. So we got technically 15 minutes, but let's jump to Keeneland. We're gonna cover the late half. I think this is a really sick card. I'm glad I'm gonna be there, like, to watch this.
You're gonna be there. Where are your seats at? Where are you sitting on? You're going tomorrow, right?
I'm going Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm in the grandstand Friday and the grandstand Sunday. I don't know where, somewhere in the grandstand.
There's not a bad seat in the house at Keeneland, I'll tell you that.
And then sitting in the dining room in the Phoenix room on Saturday. So yeah, just that'll be nice. Which will be cool because you're gonna be playing probably a lot more on Saturday anyways than I would like tomorrow or Sunday too. But Oldie's coming with me. Oldie's in the chat. He's gonna come.
You're gonna enjoy that, dude. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And I like the grandstand at Keeneland. You know, there's certain places to watch races. Yeah, it's all fun having a suite and everything. But I'll tell you what, if I'm at Gulfstream or I'm at Keeneland, I want to be in the grandstand because I'm closer to the track. I'm closer to the action. I have actually a better view, and I'm around other people that are rooting it on and not just watching the races on the TV. I like watching the races live. And so I loved it. You're going to love the Phoenix room too, though. That's on the 3rd floor. And they've got this, balcony area that's nice and wide open. It's the best view on the entire track. And when I was up there last weekend,
got me more excited.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome. You feel like you're treated like a king here at Keeneland. Just make sure you have a jacket on, or else they might tell you can't come in. So
I know they're really strict. Like, they send you multiple emails about like dress code and everything, and separate emails for each day and everything. Yeah, I'm excited. If people are there, shoot me a tweet or Instagram or whatever. I'll be around all weekend. So I'm pumped, man. I mean, I can't wait. It was fun. I went to Gulfstream for Pegasus.
You're going to run into some great handicappers there too. I mean, I keep on learning in this game every single time. I got to meet, I met Swifty last weekend. Everybody knows who he is. I met Mike Somich, and, these guys they have a wealth of knowledge too. And so, I met Scotty at the Pegasus. So come to these events as tracks are opening up, and the people you can meet, and just sharing ideas, talking about handicapping. A lot of these guys are really popular, but they're all just like us when we're all handicappers. And so talking shop, it's like, you connect on another level, and it makes it so much more fun to talk to guys about, what we're doing every single day. And so, get out to the track, get out and go play in these tournaments. It's a lot of fun, and it's great networking opportunities. And we hope to meet a lot of you viewers someday too, and maybe we can host some events and have some meet and greets and talk handicapping. Cause I mean, come on, what else do we want to talk about? Right.
All right. I got to pack still, and my flight and all of these things, and so I know a few people have asked for a Tampa pick 5. I don't know if we'll have time. Let's go through Keeneland. I could probably go, if you have Brady an extra 10 minutes or something, we can see if we can get through. If not, I will post on my Twitter tonight, because I'm going to be at the airport for a while. I'll post on my Twitter a potential kind of Tampa and go through some races. So if people want to follow that they're welcome to. What do you think here? So maiden special to start at Keeneland, 3 and up, nice purse. I kind of found it hard to land on some horses here, though. I did try to find a couple angles, but what do you think?
Sure. I'm scared to death of this 3 coffee break. It's the Scotty Longshot. It's a first-time starter out of Go Sapper. I'm going to try to be quick on my explanations and maybe more or less just give my picks because we are so strapped with time. But I'm scared to death of the 3, and I don't want to leave him off my ticket. I tossed the 4 Derby Day out of Sisterson's barn. I did use the 5, 6, and 8 as well. So I was 4 deep here, 3, 5, 6, 8.
Yeah, I had the 7, nothing I love about it though. So I'm with you. I do really like the 3. So I'm glad we both do. I think for viewers, I'm probably betting the 3 in some amount here. First time starter, EquinEdge morning line loves him 9-2 versus a 10-1 morning line. Scotty Longshot, nice work pattern. Velasquez for Brian Lynch. I think he's having a pretty good meet, which is nice. Not middle of the road GSR. So we'll go 3, 5, 6, 8.
And you know what I call the 3 horse? I call that a Justin special. You know why? Because the EE morning line is half of the track morning line. And so see how this 3 horse gets bet on Saturday. I guarantee you're not going to get 10-1. You're probably going to get more in the 7-2, 4-1 range. And so Justin's so good at finding these half EE morning lines of the track morning line. And a lot of these horses get missed on regular pick 5 tickets because automatically a handicapper sees 10-1, 15-1, 20-1. And EquinEdge might have the horse at 9-2, which is a 30% better morning line than most of the track's morning line odds. And so that's where we can gain a true advantage.
Yeah, you get a ton of value. Like for viewers, I know we're trying to go fast, but there's a gentleman, I can't remember his name, people in the chat might know, on the EquinEdge VIP page on Facebook that posts pretty much every day. He's pretty good about it. Posts the first time starter Scotty long shots. Every single day he posts them from most of the tracks. I don't know if he does quarter horse and stuff like that, but the first time starter Scotty long shot for a straight win bet is like it's a ridiculous profit, like a ridiculous return on investment profit. For like $1, it's like it's not like 50%, but it's like 25 to 30. Oh, they said gram. It's like 25 to 30%. It is ridiculous, you guys. This is a serious angle on the software, and the percent they hit is ridiculous. So coffee break is definitely, I'm betting the horse to win. I will probably spread in my pick 5. I don't know. I might play an alternate pick 5 and play a couple, and Oldie and I'm sure we'll come up with something. But I think really live here, and especially when I don't necessarily love all of the others, although I think the 8 has a shot, although I just don't love Julian, but I know he sometimes rides a little bit better at Keeneland. So let's move on though. So allowance, I love these. We talked about turf sprints last weekend. We have another one here going 5.5 at Keeneland. I told people is the inside on the turf at Keeneland is rough, and on turf sprints, it's really rough. Even on routing, it is rough. When you have horses on the outside that you can find an angle on in turf sprints at Keeneland, bet them. For me, on Saturday is the 10 horse. And I also like Rosario on the 6. But the 10 horse, it's Scotty Longshot. It's top GSR by 12 points. He's been running great at 58 SORs at Gulfstream. Another thing, shippers from outside coming into Keeneland and layoffs, okay, at Keeneland. And I didn't learn that. I learned this from Dan Cronin, Keeneland Dan. Like, he's something, when I was a young horse player, he knows Keeneland with angles. And when I was first handicapping, he put out his sheet, and he is great at the angles at Keeneland. Many know his brother Mick, coach at UCLA. So shout out to Dan Cronin, to be honest. Like, he has some serious knowledge at Keeneland. But the 10, she won at a 58 last time. I know this is a 66, but the extra furlong is going to help here for her. She's the longer on a sprint. I mean, in 80, this is her distance, and she has an outside post. I'm betting this horse all day on Saturday. Best bet of the day. And I also think Rosario on the 6 can run. What do you think?
I echo it 1,000 times. I was on the 5, 6, 10 here. I love tossing a Wesley Ward favored horse. Now the 4 is not the morning line favorite. He's 7-2. I think the Clement horse is 3-1. But this Wesley Ward horse is going to get bet because it's Keeneland. This is a prime example of a reason to toss a horse because of the surface he's running on. Look at this horse's GSR. He's got a 55 GSR compared to the 80 on the 10. What does that tell me? Look at this horse's past performances on the turf. 5th place after getting the lead, and the lead alone by a length and a half. And then also 12th place after who knows what happened on the turf at Ascot. And this horse has ran on the dirt, 1 wired the field. Ran on the synthetic, 1 wired the field. Why is Wesley running this horse in the turf again? I have no idea. I love to play against here because this horse is probably going to be the favorite at like 8-5, 7-5. Because it's Wesley Ward, because it's in his backyard at Keeneland. And by the way, I got to see Ward's barn and where he keeps all like the hidden gems like Golden Pal. You would never guess it's like all run down. It's like, who would keep a horse there? And I guess he does that because it's like, who would check there? And
That's
so
funny.
I saw that
That's
when we
funny.
were in Jack Sisterson's. We went to his house and hung out in his barn for a little while. And, we shared some good stories and everything. Wesley Ward apparently mows his lawn. So, that was going around Twitter a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I'm with you. Man. Let's toss this 4. I'm fine with 5, 6, 10. That's what I really liked in this leg. And I love your 10 horse. 80 GSR. How often do we see that big of a differential? When it's that big of a differential, it's time to play.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting her best distance ever at 5.5. And again, outside post on turf sprints are legit here. This isn't, it is much different at Keeneland, and she's gonna get just a great trip. I mean, we might get 8-1 or 10-1 on her. Like, to be honest, you guys, like, she's 10%. The morning line has her at 6. She's probably going to be 8. I hope she's 10. Like, I'm betting with 2 hands on her. And I also think the 6 can win. So I'm going to do some savers with the 6 and 10. Definitely some exactas and verticals in this race. I think we have huge potential here. All right, we're regenerating 5, 6, 10. We're going to go to the 3rd leg. Another, so an allowance on dirt. We have South Bend showing up here. I thought Final Jeopardy was really interesting. I thought the Scotty picks here were good. What do you think?
Absolutely. And I'm from the South Bend area, and I've been following this horse for like 2 years on the Derby Trail. I'm still waiting for him to win. When's the last time this horse won? This 3 horse is going to be heavily favored. Ran in the Kentucky Derby for some odd reason, which I have no idea why. Ran in the Belmont Derby and has been on the shelf since October of 2020. And so I don't know what the heck they're doing with this 3 horse. Who knows? His back class could obviously prove that he could be much the best, but I have to go way back to find a win. And I can't really find one in 20. Did he win in 2020? Or, I mean, when's the last time?
Not in February. That's as far as my running.
Yeah, that's as far as we're going back. And so, this horse really won as a 2-year-old, and I believe he had a lot more success on the turf than he did the dirt. And so I'm not high on this 3 horse at all. And I like the 1-2-7 or 1-2-6-7. Justin, you made a point about Final Jeopardy. You get Martin Pedrosa, which is one of the oldest jockeys. Look at Martin Pedrosa's win percentage for a hot second. 50%. And it's kind of funny. When we were at Keeneland last Friday, Pedrosa had the mount on the Wesley Ward horse in the last race at 5-1. And the smart handicappers goes, well, of course, Ward's going to give him a mount he can win on. This guy only rides when he thinks he has a great chance to win. That's why he clicks at 50%. I'm not going to leave a 50% rider off of my ticket, even if he is old. Who cares? I'm using the 1. I'm using the 2 Royal Mesa. I like the way Bayerano is ridden. I like this horse's running style. I think it fits this type. I like the 6 Mighty Heart because James Graham is absolutely electric on the lead. And James Graham wins in Kentucky. He wins at Fairgrounds. He wins when you don't think he's going to have a shot, and he never gets bet. James Graham deserves a lot more respect at the windows than what he gets. My top pick in this race is the 7 Top Seed. Johnny Velasquez is riding for McGahee here. This is a 5-year-old horse. It has really come into his own. I think that the 7 stands out to me, but I wanted to use the extra coverage. I'm fine tossing the 3 unless you absolutely have to have it.
No, I want this ticket to pay. So we're tossing the 3 because I really love the 7. And if we're aligning on a horse and we're against what's going to be probably the favorite in South Bend, I'm all for tossing it. People who know me, they're like, they know, like, Justin will toss favorites. I do. I want my ticket to pay. And to be honest with all viewers, I learned that from one person. I learned it from Scotty. Like, when you don't like a horse, why include it if you're gonna go 5 deep and the chalk's gonna win? Yeah, and we will be wrong, viewers. We will. You, as a handicapper, you're not going to be right. But I would rather be right and have my ticket pay good than do it all the time and win a bunch of chalky tickets or still lose. Like, we may not win this pick 5, and we went 5 deep here, and South Bend's gonna win, and we're gonna be wrong elsewhere, right? So I'm all for tossing South Bend. I thought, he's only 16%. Yeah, it's Joel Mott. Okay, yeah, maybe, I don't know, top Scotty pick, but I like the 7. I also like the 1. So we are tossing the 3, and we're going to regenerate if the ticket generator will let us. Oh, it already did. Sorry. So this is looking like a tough sequence. 12 furlong. Wants to single in the last, which I don't love, so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing.
I think we can narrow here. I really think we can narrow to 3 horses.
Good. You give it to us. What are we doing?
Yeah, this race is great. I'm falling in love with these 12 furlong turf races, and it just started recently, but these things are absolutely wacko. Okay, and it takes a special horse that has proven himself at this distance, because if a horse has never run this distance before, good luck, because how do you know what he's going to take for? I mean, he might not finish the race. Okay, the pace scenario completely changes. A lot of these races go so slow early on, and maybe the horses on the lead continue on. Maybe it falls apart up front and the horse in last place mows them down. These 12 furlong races are tough. That's why I love them so much, is because we can really find some value. The top Scotty pick, Red Knight, I believe will be the deserving favorite. Okay, this is a Bill Mott horse that, once again, James Graham is going to ride. As you can see, is a long distance specialist. That's all that they run this horse at, is 11 and 12 furlongs. The 10's my top pick here. My second top pick is the 1 Cross Border. And this horse may get a little overlooked. 4-1 morning line, you're probably going to get all of that. Third place in the Pegasus gets Tyler Gaffleone for Mike Maker. Look at the trip that this horse is going to set. Nobody's getting a better trip than this 1 here. And if the 1 finished third in the Pegasus behind Largent and Colonel Liam, third again in the Pan American, but I believe this horse wants to run all day. And so I love the 1 in this spot. The other horse that I looked at, I love my boy Tie to the Sea, but I don't love how this race is going to unfold. I don't love a horse on the front end if he's not going to be alone at Keeneland. Okay, and if you get any rain or anything like that, I don't like the 6 even more. And so for me, this race did go through the 10 and the 1. Where did you go here?
I love Cross Border here, and it's interesting. And Karina does as well, which that's good. Viewers, we're all aligning and everything. Not in top Scotty, but that's okay. None of the top 3. 10% morning line, 4-1. Like, I like Cross Border. Gaff stays with a couple rides. I love Gaff at Keeneland. Love Gaff Maker. Run really well. I think, the 7 was interesting, but keeping on Cross Border, the distance here should be good. When you look at the 12 furlong trips, ran well in the Pan American, step slow. I have not watched this race, so it's been just an insane busy week. And I do want to watch some of Cross Border's races, but right now I really do like the way that he's run. And I think this is a good spot. When you go back here to last summer, faced Channel Maker in both these races in grade 1s, didn't run awful. I mean, I know here you look in a 76 and run 6, but and you look here, finish second didn't have the best trip. I remember watching this race at Saratoga, was on the soft turf. I think with Keeneland, hopefully I don't think we're going to get rain. The weather looked good, but I'm with you on the one. Red Knight was interesting, and I'm not all over Tide of Sea either. And I was at Pegasus, and this was one of my better bets of the day. I just didn't bet it right, and I love 2 horses and wasted money by not just hammering them away in the tournament. But that's okay, learning lesson. But Tide of the Sea, I don't love here. I don't love Joelle on the 5. Craft Daddy, I actually didn't catch Crafty Daddy until the morning line. So Brady talked about this a little bit ago. 15-1 morning line, 8-1 on EquinEdge. The thing here, Brian Hernandez, Kenny McPeak, bred for the turf, definitely. When you look at GSR Plus, has not raced on the turf in a while. The first time going long. So I'm like, okay, let's see. Do we have anything here? I don't know. Race 14 times. Is he going to want the distance is the question. The 3 might be a potential long shot. So I would say there's potential there. I'm with you on the 1 in 10 though. I would probably just go 1 in 10 here on my ticket, and for bigger tickets for viewers. I do not overlook the 3 at 10% in a 15-1 morning line, because to be honest with you, you're probably going to get close to 15-1 on this horse. I don't think you're going to end up getting 8-1. I think you're going to get the 12-1 to 15-1. Going to get overlooked. People are going to look coming from Turfway, coming from Churchill. Kenny McPeak does well at Keeneland, right? I mean, there are trainers that
at a price. Oh,
yeah.
So McPeak at double-digit odds. That's where he wins.
Well, so I don't know. Maybe we need to put this horse on our ticket. I don't know. We might have to. The problem is we're going to be so slim. I like the 1 in 10, and I think the 3 is a massive long shot, and you cannot overlook. What do you think? What do we do? I don't know how we're going to single in the last race.
Yeah, Joel's horse for Ward, the 6, is going to be really tough to beat. I mean, I'm comfortable. Man, this is a tough one, and it's all about ticket structuring. Love Cross Border here. Love Red Knight. You made a great case for that 3, and McPeak is the thing that I may lose sleep over. If there's one trainer that I'm going to lose sleep over, it's Ken McPeak at 15-1. And so, if we have to single in the last, that's taking a big stand with Ward. I do think that the horse fits in the last. I would prefer to go 2 deep if we can, but if we can't, I'm fine with singling up Joelle and Wesley Ward on this 6 horse in the last.
Well, so let's and for viewers, we're not going to get to Tampa tomorrow, but if because I got to pack and do a bunch of stuff, but I will post on my Twitter a Tampa pick 5 for tomorrow, and I'll post a couple different tickets. I'll post a smaller one and a larger one, and Brady, I'll tag you. So if you have any comments, feel free to add for viewers. Maybe we went, because I think this could pay, viewers. This could be a really good ticket that can pay. I'm gonna play a bigger ticket, and I'll post it for viewers. Probably than the one we'll go through here, but Brady and I always try to stick to a budget for smaller players. Do we need the 5 in race 7? The 5, 6, 10. What do you think? Or can we cut anywhere else? I guess would be my ask to add in the last, so we don't have to single in the last.
Yeah, I'm fine with cutting the 5 out. I'm not a huge Neil Pessin bettor, and so I'm fine with cutting the 5 out to add more in the last.
All right, let's do it. And we both like the 6 and 10. So and for viewer, I mean, you're gonna get. I mean, the 6 is 4-1, and we got the 10 at 10-1. I mean, we're shopping for a price there 2 deep. It wants to add the 8. Hold on, we got a lock here. And then it's going to let us go 2 deep in the last. So 6, and what else did you like here? And we'll talk through this, and then we'll call it, and we will march on to the weekend. Well, Friday and then the weekend.
Absolutely. The 6 horse to me was the one that was to beat. It's Wesley Ward. It's Joel Rosario. I think he trips out in this race. The 3 horses, the top Scotty pick. And I gave Mitchell Murrell a huge chance on LZ last Saturday in the contest, and man, it just didn't work out. Went to the lead and everything, didn't pan out, and so I'm not so sure that I trust this 3 in this spot, especially at such a short price that the 3 is going to be. And so I looked elsewhere. I looked at the 4. I looked at the 8. There's a lot that I like about this 4 horse. I like the running style. I like that he's going to grab the lead. I like that he has a lot of trip excuses, and I like his price at a 6-1 morning line. I also like the 8 horse a lot. Here's the problem with the 8 is he takes money every single time. He's been the favorite in his last 5 starts, and his one start that he wasn't the favorite, he still paid $1.90. 1.9 was his odds, and so this horse takes money every single time and has only won 2 races and hasn't won since December in 4 more tries. And if we look at the level that he's been racing at, it's the same level. So that's why I was so confident in this 6 horse. But I also thought that the 4 was a horse you could use if you can't single here. If we can afford to go too deep, I went just 6-4, and I didn't like the 3 or the 8 and anybody that was left in this field.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I love this sequence. I'm excited for Saturday.
You're gonna have a great time. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna love
it. And for viewers, Instagram, I will be on Instagram. That's the goal this weekend. So, few comments. I totally tossed the 1. Like, I'm like, the 1. I looked again. It took EquinEdge a while today to get the morning line in, so I was doing extra work on looking on old school PPs to pull it in. But they finally brought it in. 12-1 on the EquinEdge morning line on this dual entry. Not that I love the 1, you guys, but if you're spreading here, don't forget about the 1, the 1A. I actually like the 3, so we differ here. You like the 6. I didn't love the 6. I know Oldie's kind of on the same page there. I do think the 6, though, is interesting. So missed at a 62. This is only a 56 at Keeneland. Wesley, Joel. Like, I actually think the 6 has a shot. I like the 3 quite a bit. I like when Fairgrounds and you have what do you call Mitch? Bet Mitch get rich or something?
Bet Mitch get rich.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the Fairgrounds horses have been running. So
yeah,
there you go with the 3 usually. There.
Yeah. Again, Dan Cronin, I remember reading Fairgrounds Gulfstream shipping into Keeneland. The 10 the 10 I had is my own long shot. It wasn't Scotty long shot. The 4 is, which you mentioned the 4. Kate's Golden Rule. On dirt, 1 at a 56. I think going to be up. I do think that he'll be close to the pace here. But I don't know. I mean, you like the 6. I like the 3.
We can use them both, and it's already in the ticket generator.
Well, they're $72. You like the 4. Gary asked also about who you else liked in the last. So I want to make sure that we catch that.
Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I did like the 4. A lot in the last leg too. I was all over the 6 here, and Justin's all over the 3. So I think we're going to end up going too deep here. Gary, if you're going a little slimmer in the other legs, the next up horses that I would probably use would be the 4 and the 8. Anybody else in this race? Justin, did you like the 10 at all? I think you said.
I thought the 10 and 11. I think the 11, the EquinEdge morning line has a 5-1 and is 1 at a 60 SOR at Fairgrounds. I need to look at notes to think about the outside post on the dirt. I know that on the turf it's fine. I don't know on the dirt how that plays at Keeneland, but potential here. Colby Hernandez, in great form. I mean, running really well at Fairgrounds. That was on a turf race, so you can't really compare that. But 5.5 here, 1 at a 56. 1 at a 60 just in the beginning of the year. I guess the only thing I don't like there is, is he a little bit falling out of form cycle? The problem is he's been in against 2 tough, so I can't really say that. So I'm likely on my ticket, in a larger ticket, I'm spreading some in this race. But I think logicals here are 3 and 6. You talked 4 and 8. I think the 1, 10, and 11 are bombs that I'm probably playing on a larger ticket. And so for viewers, definitely there's some Keeneland is going to be amazing. Like,
And I think
it's
a
gonna be
bet
good.
within our pick 5 would to be play a pick 3 races 7, 8, and 9.
Hey,
I really think
I'm glad you said that, because we always and I didn't mean to stop you, but this is a tough sequence. And I think for viewers, we try to stick to a budget, but we love some horses of a price in race 7. Good point. Play the pick 3 here and play it for $1 or $2. And you can hit a pick 3. I hit a pick 3 at Keeneland once, a pick 3 for $2,000 for 50 cents. For 50 cents on a pick 3. It was nuts.
it can happen. And, we always talk about going 4 out of 5 on a pick 5 every once in a while. Because believe it or not, pick 5-leg parlays are really tough to hit, and that's why they can pay so much. But there's a lot of times where we have stronger opinions in the middle part of the legs or the early part. And so if you're confident, I'm going to be playing that race 9 or 7, 8, and 9. If I can find a way, I don't know. I'm going to be in Hawaii. So if my ADWs aren't working, maybe I'll just have to sit this one out and let you guys hammer this one. But that's going to cost you $12 for 50 cents to go 2x4x3. And so I think it's a great backup, a great hedge to the pick 5 ticket in itself. Cash a ticket in race 9 and then let it roll on race 10. And if you cash both of them, great. But I really like the mid part of our pick 5 sequence.
Yeah, and I just noticed it tossed, and I know we're over time, but we're gonna wrap it up here. But it decided to toss. I need to remember to lock our tickets on the generator. It decided to toss the 3 in the first, which we don't want it to do. And then it was the 6-10. And for viewers, remember that 3 in the first leg. Like I might single that 3 and spread some legs later on a ticket. And then we had the 1, 2, 6, 7 because we tossed South Bend. And then we had the 1, 3, 10. Yep. Okay. That's the ticket. It is $96. So apologies. It was under 100, but we went over our $80 to $84 budget. And we talked a lot of different sequences. And John, good point. So we will close this out and we're going to run the pick 4 because I want to see what it does there for about $50. I'll do that now, Brady. Anything to add as we close it out?
No, I like the ticket structure, and I'm looking forward to hearing what stories you have from Keeneland to share because we're going to get together here soon in a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Derby week. And so, these next few weekends, it's kind of, a little bit of a low period, but there's still some quality racing. Just when I thought we were going to have a day off, it's Monomoy Girl and Swiss Skydiver getting ready to throw it down. It's Welder coming back. It's, trying to keep these Derby horses healthy. And so, I'm so excited. I've got energy, if you can't tell. And I'm ready to go to Hawaii for a week, but that's not going to stop the handicapping. And we're going to come back to you next Thursday night with a great show. And I'm going to be on the beach, maybe doing the show. Who knows? I'll probably have a Hawaiian shirt on. And so the grind never stops, and that's a way come and do it every day and throw down like we do. So I really enjoy it, man.
All right. So $60 pick 4. I think it's worth it here. We are going with 2 prices in the first leg. You're going to get hopefully a great price, viewers, and then we're going to do some coverage later.
Yeah. Can I bring up a viewer real quick?
Yeah.
C Money just had a great question. How do you guys know when to have confidence or not in the EquinEdge numbers? Okay, I'll put that up one more time. How do we know when to have confidence in EquinEdge numbers? EquinEdge is the tool, okay? We are handicappers. You guys are handicappers. What EquinEdge does is enhances our handicapping ability, makes us more efficient, and opens our eyes to things that we may or may not see without the system. I grew up on the DRF, okay, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what EquinEdge does is it takes the 30 minutes that I used to spend handicapping on paper, and I can handicap a race in 5 minutes at the same level of efficiency. What the paper handicapping doesn't tell you is strength of races, because sometimes depending on what you use, the figures may or may not line up with the race SORs that we have. A lot of times paper handicapping has a lot to do with pedigree. And I don't know pedigree that much. And so when I first met Scotty, I said, Scotty, I'm really good at stakes races. I'm really good at allowance races. But man, these maiden special weights, these maiden claimers, these first-time starters, that's where I really struggle. And those are the legs I'm getting knocked out. And that's when I got introduced to the GSR. Back to your question, C Money, is we use our own handicapping skills and abilities with the system. Okay. And so if I see the system shows a top win percentage, but maybe it's not a top Scotty, then okay, maybe this horse isn't a single and maybe I need to look elsewhere. Or I'll look at the card and then come back to the EquinEdge system just to double check and verify to solidify a single. And so handicapping is based on your opinions and your knowledge and your experience. So make sure you're using the system as a tool, because nothing out there, I don't care who's selling or whatever, nobody's just handing out winners left and right. Because if that was possible, we'd all be rich and retired. But use EquinEdge as a handicapping tool, because every different algorithm can help you in different situations. For instance, for me, with maiden races and first-time starters, the GSR is the most important thing. When we have horses stepping up to the allowance ranks for the first time, that SOR is the most important thing to me to know if they can go with this competition. For example, when we tossed Bezos off of our ticket last week, it was because he had the worst, junkiest SOR in the whole entire field. I think he had a 44. And so it's things like that where we all are horse players, we all are handicappers, we know what our strengths are. Let the tool enhance that.
Dude, that was money. Like, we're going to clip that. And just like we clipped, we forgot to talk about the bowl last week. So
bowl.
We definitely are not ending the show.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
You go to the bathroom or wherever you're going. So for viewers, that was awesome by Brady, because I'll add till he gets back. It's a subjective tool, C-Money. It's subjective. So what it means is a lot of people think Scotty Pick should win all the time. It's Scotty. It's Scotty.
There's the bowl right there.
Yeah, we'll stop there. Brady did a great job. It is a tool that you use with everything combined. All right. So viewers asked for that. And was it the Maker's Mark Mile? Was that what it was?
It was the Maker's Mark Mile on Friday.
Yeah, and I didn't
give out the bowl. And yeah. I mean, you did a great job, because I had the bowl in the back of my mind and I put you on the spot. I was like, hey, can we just go over the Maker's Mark Mile? And you handicapped the whole thing on the spot in 5 minutes, and you got to the bowl as well. And so the bull is one of my favorite horses. Right when I first got into horse racing in 2018, it was Justify, and then it was Bricks and Mortar. And they're like, dang, this Raging Bull horse, he likes to close. He's pretty cool. You have to have the right setup for this horse. And so we were walking around the barns on Thursday and Friday, and we got to see him. I actually fed the bull peppermints on Saturday morning before the race. Yeah. And so it's always nice to have, that kind of access. But 7-2, an absolute gift. I hammered the heck out of this horse. It was my strongest opinion of the day. I singled in every single ticket. And I wish that he would have ran on Saturday for the tournament. Maybe I would have fared a little bit better. But I'll tell you what, this horse tripped out perfectly. And everything that we said on the show about how Irad would have him sitting fifth, that's the exact spot that he did. He broke great. He sat on the rail all the way around. He got some pace ahead of him. And when they turned for home, the bull was doing it on his own. Irad gave him a few taps, a few whips, and he was long gone. Nobody was catching this horse. And so I'm really excited to see what they do with this horse the rest of the year. The bull runs great off of a layoff. He had a 7-month layoff, and last time I checked, we're about 6 or 7 months away from the Breeders' Cup. I don't think Chad will put him on the shelf for that long, but I'd like to see him run one more time and then send him to the Breeders' Cup. But I'll tell you what, really happy for my buddy Daniel Bernardini, who's the exercise rider for the bull. I know he's pumped down in Florida, so congrats, Danny. I'll see you soon. But you made the cover of the magazine the day before. Usually they would say that's a curse, but I sent Danny a copy so he could have one for his scrapbooks. But yeah, love the bull.
Was that him on the cover? Is that Danny on the cover?
Yeah, that's Danny. Danny Bernardini on the cover of the bull. This was the DRF that they gave out the day before. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean. It's in for viewers. So that was which is awesome. Like if you watch the end of last week's show, it was towards the very end, maybe the last probably 10 minutes. there's a quick there's a quick clip on just handicapping a race and using the various things. And I think, Brady, your end here of how you use the tool, like and some people know this, but not a lot. It's this tool, the ticket generator is awesome. And that's why we use it on the show, because it's proven it will give you things, little tweaks to the ticket generator. When you have a decision, tweak it, and the ticket generator will work, and let it go. But it's subjective. This is not somebody who's selling a bunch of picks. We're not just selling the picks with the tool. You take Scotty's picks, you take the SOR of the race, you take the GSR for genetic strength rating, you take the SOR on the strength of race, the ticket generator. There's many algorithms here in how you put them together to form your opinion on a ticket. And if anybody has questions, I'm totally willing to answer, whether it's on the EquinEdge VIP page, Twitter, whatever. Ask. I'm more than happy to share everything I've learned through this, because it's how you put it together, as Brady said, and how you combine it to create your ticket. So don't take off the Scotty long shot. That will never happen. Scotty knows this better than I do, obviously, but that thing is like a crazy profit. Crazy. I mean, but well done, bro. That was good to go through that. And it's so perfect. So there's a pick 4. It's $60. I know we went over budget a little bit, but this thing's going to pay this weekend. We talked a lot about sequences, but remember, I think the clips here and the little nuggets are play a pick 3. Play a pick 3 play it a little bit bigger. Play a $30 pick 3 and get some prices, or play it $10 and play it 3 times. Maybe don't play the pick 5. And I know we cover that because we try to cover the races and go through that, but definitely narrow in. And Brady, you brought it up. Race 7, 8, 9. I'm with you. There's a price, or play the pick 4. All right. What are you going to leave us with? Anything?
Yeah, little words of wisdom. If anybody's down at Keeneland, give Justin a shout out.
Yes.
You guys are all going to be on the grounds. We would love to meet more viewers. And hopefully, as more of us are able to get out to the tracks, I plan on having a pretty good summer at some select tracks. I want to go to Saratoga. I'm going to be at Del Mar. I mean, wherever we're at, Kentucky, who knows? Give us a shout out if you're going to be there. And if you're not, maybe we can get you in touch with some other followers too. This is kind of like an EquinEdge army, that's building up. And we appreciate everybody that watches the show every week. And we want to continue bringing you guys the best content that we possibly can. That's why we study for a few hours before each show and talk all week, because we want to really give you guys our best. And so, Oldie will be at Arlington. I'm going to the Arlington Million. There's nothing that's going to keep me away from that. So we'll have to meet up there, Oldie. But thanks again, Justin. Have a safe trip tonight out to Keeneland, and just take it all in, man. You're going to enjoy yourself.
Thanks, brother. It was a pleasure as always. This has been one of my favorite shows, so thank you. I'm just hyped up. The weather helps here. It's been a rough winter, like it always is in Seattle. But it's a pleasure to handicap with you, to have a show. Viewers, you too. And I will be Keeneland Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hit me up online. We can grab a drink, sit down, talk horses. I love doing that. So thanks, brother. You have fun in Hawaii. I'll be in Kentucky. And then we are going to meet up in 3 weeks for the Derby. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too, brother. All right. Well, hey, I'll get ready for the show on Thursday. Have a safe trip. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon.